911, what's your emergency? Hello, I'm hungry. What's your name? How old are you? I need you to hand the phone to an adult. My mom won't wake up, that's why I'm calling. What's your name, young lady? Where are you? My name is Ileana. I don't know where I am. Are you alone? Can you hand the phone to an adult? I'm trapped, the door is locked. I tried yelling but nobody came to open it. I understand, Ileana. Can you tell me anything about where you live, or is there anything you can see out the window that might help us locate you? In front of you is a large tree adorned with red flowers, and beside it, a dog lies motionless, much like my mother. The adjacent house seems nearly dilapidated. Yet its door is freshly painted blue. Ileana, hello, are you still there? The call abruptly cut off. The operator exhaled a sigh, attempted a callback, but to no avail. Recognizing the urgency, I immediately alerted the patrol. We received a distress call from a young girl, about 10 years old, trapped and unable to rouse her mother. The clues provided: a tree with red blossoms, a dog, and a seemingly deserted house with a blue door. The girl, named Ileana, reported she was hungry. Though we could not pinpoint the exact location of the call, we identified the area where the house might be. I planned to survey this neighborhood and inquire with locals whether they recognized any location matching the description, thereby initiating the search for Ileana, considering every detail she provided and every lead the operator had contributed. These pieces of information were critical for the police tasked with the case. With a renewed sense of determination to find the girl and unravel the mystery behind the distressing midnight call, Dacio was resolved to commence his diligent search for the young girl named Ileana. He initiated his investigation by thoroughly scouting several neighborhoods adjacent to the area from which the police call originated, and where he had previously conversed with her. Despite the busy streets filled with passers-by, the search yielded no significant clues. Compounded by the onset of spring, the task was further complicated by the prevalence of numerous homes adorned with red flowering plants in their gardens, making it exceptionally challenging to identify any distinctive signs. Although it is rare to see an old house with a blue painted door, when darkness began to fall, Dacio suddenly stopped in front of a house. Here, a very serious-looking man, with one leg amputated, was sitting on the porch. "Excuse me, sir, do you know of any deserted houses with blue doors around here?" As soon as Dacio opened his mouth, the man responded briefly, decisively, and stood up. He opened the door and entered the house, appearing dissatisfied with the question. Dacio continued his search without finding any trace of the girl. A moment later, when Dacio passed by again, the man was still sitting in the chair. With nothing left to lose, Dacio decided to try again. He got out of the car and approached the man, this time saying, "A little girl called us, said she was stuck in a house, and showed us a blue door as a clue. Nearby there is a dog and a red flower. The girl said she was hungry and her mother was not awake. If you know anything, please let us know, it will help us more than you have imaginable." The man looked at Dacio with suspicion, but eventually revealed there was a place matching the description a few blocks away, deeper in the woods, explaining why reaching it wasn't easy, as Dacio processed the warnings that hinted at the perilous nature of his mission. He became acutely aware that the terrain ahead was notorious, a stomping ground for those engaged in the shadowy fringes of illegality. The knowledge stirred a tumultuous mix of emotions within him, oscillating between the flickering flames of hope and the icy grip of trepidation. The value of time was not lost on him. With each minute that ebbed away, the urgency to rescue Ileana and ensure the well-being of her comatose mother grew more pressing that he offered a silent gesture of thanks to the man who had cast light on the obscure path ahead, wasting no time in advancing towards the designated area. As Dacio made his way, the realization dawned on him that the place he sought was ensconced in the most reclusive crevices of the city. A labyrinth that had swallowed many searches in its cryptic depths. This revelation shed light on the daunting complexity of finding Ileana. It was a task obscured not just by distance, but by the enigmatic nature of the place itself. After a long journey of searching, Dacio finally discovered a large tree with crimson flowers, and in the distance were two houses that seemed to have been uninhabited for a long time, including a house with wings. The blue door that Ileana described in her call to the police. As soon as he determined the location, he quickly requested assistance from rescue forces. Even though no aid team had arrived, Dacio still approached the house, where the main door was locked and next to it was a dog lying motionless on the floor. Which added to the mystery when the dog was not there. Barked as Dacio approached. When he checked the dog's condition, he confirmed that it was no longer alive. Then, he called Ileana's name, shouting loudly hoping to hear a response from her, but everything remained silent without a single response. Dacio stopped for a moment to look around and, realizing that he had no other choice, he slowly pushed open the door and entered the house, which clearly reflected the desolation and abandonment. The space inside is moody and stuffy with dusty furniture and a heavy atmosphere of sadness. The scene here seemed to have lingered for a long time as traces of decomposition on the body showed that the death had happened many days ago. He carefully searched every corner of the house until he discovered a locked door, which appeared to lead to a hidden room. Dacio tried his best to break the door, but in vain. He could not open it. At that moment, he decided to use more force to open the lock, and stepping inside, he witnessed a heartbreaking scene. Ileana, a small girl, unconscious, lying on the floor next to an elderly woman. There was probably her mother, who is also no longer alive. Ileana's body temperature was extremely low, but fortunately, she was still breathing. After several attempts, Dacio managed to awaken Ileana. When she opened her eyes, she immediately began to cry softly, asking for food while the tears dried up on her little face. It was clear, from her withered face and tired eyes, that Ileana had survived several terrifying days, trapped in the intense summer heat. During the examination, the police discovered a strange detail about the girl. Ileana possessed two colored eyes, a rare genetic phenomenon called dyschromia. Realizing the girl's weak condition, Dao quickly took Ileana to the patrol car, in which he had prepared some cookies, knowing that the girl had not been properly fed for a long time. Ileana's hunger was so great that she ate greedily, and after just a few minutes, Ileana's face was rosy again, full of vitality. Soon, other patrols arrived, and an ambulance was called to the scene to take Ileana to the hospital. Here, the girl will undergo tests to thoroughly check her health condition. Throughout this process, Ileana did not leave Dao's side, clinging tightly to his hand as if she had found a safe fulcrum after long days filled with fear, anxiety, and loneliness in the abandoned house. The connection between Ileana and Dao, in those brief moments, became a testament to the power of compassion and comfort that people can bring to each other in the most difficult of circumstances. The hospital confirmed that Ileana is gradually recovering, although she is severely malnourished after long days without food. However, a new challenge appeared not long after. Ileana had no record of her father. And more tragically, her mother was found dead in an abandoned house without any other relatives, putting her future into question. The little girl did not leave Dacio, who who had unintentionally become her emotional support, and he felt his heart being squeezed every time he looked into Ileana's eyes full of fear and sadness. Touched by the feeling of being protected like a father, Dacio contacted other police stations and decided not to send Ileana to the orphanage but to temporarily take her to his home. Before taking Ileana to the police station to give a statement, the girl told a haunting story. Her mother and father suddenly took her to the abandoned house and told her to hide in the closet without explaining why. Ileana followed orders without understanding why she had to do so. When the little girl stepped out of her hiding place, a horrifying scene appeared before her eyes, her mother lying motionless on the floor, with no signs of life. In her testimony, Ileana confirmed that her father was also involved in the tragedy that happened and that he was one of the people found dead in that house. However, the police expressed doubts about the girl's testimony, questioning the truth in the story full of abnormalities and trauma that Ileana had experienced. Police have not been able to confirm the identity of the father on Ileana's birth certificate, although the information she provided was still ambiguous. It became an important clue for the next investigation. During the journey to bring Ileana home, the girl sat quietly, tears rolling down her cheeks, reflecting her strange strength in the face of the terrible loss of her parents back home. Upon arriving home, Dacio introduced Ileana to Amaran, his wife, who was immediately fascinated by her special charm. Upon arriving, Ileana, although exhausted, quickly fell asleep in the warm arms of her new acquaintance. Amaran and Dacio, who have been married for 5 years now, have always dreamed of becoming parents, but a number of obstacles keep holding that dream back. While Amaran whispered to Dacio about the trials Ileana had gone through, she couldn't help but be grateful. Thank God for bringing her to us. For Dacio and Amaran, this could be a sign of fate, and they are ready to expand their small family to welcome Ileana, a girl who has gone through so much suffering but still maintains a warm heart. Pressure. The next day, a Saturday, Ileana woke up with deep sadness as she became aware of her parents' loss. Amaranta gave the girl immense love, trying to comfort Ileana when she could not overcome the pain. At that moment, Amaranta gave Ileana new clothes, making her happily accept these gifts. That weekend became special for Ileana, when she, amidst difficult circumstances, still found joy and happiness with Dacio and Amaranta. They took her to amusement parks, shopping malls and movie theaters, trying to fill Ileana's life with happy moments, trying to ease the hurt she had suffered. During their conversations, Dacio and Amaranta discover that Ileana is often lonely, because her mother is often away, and her stepfather, whom Ileana calls Dad, is rarely at home. No matter what. Her stepfather always treated her kindly and often gave Ileana gifts every time he had the opportunity. Knowing this information, Dacio decided to share these important findings with his police colleagues, confirming that the man found dead in that house was Ileana's stepfather. In addition, the police also revealed shocking information. Both Ileana's mother, her stepfather, and even the dog found at the entrance of the house showed signs of poisoning. That tragic event was confirmed as the cause of her death. After a trip to the amusement park, Ileana began to feel sick to her stomach. Amaran quickly took care of her, gave her painkillers and let Ileana rest. While the girl fell asleep, the couple looked at her with eyes full of sadness. Even though he had only taken care of Ileana for 2 days, Dacio reminded her of the harsh reality that if no other relatives were found, Ileana would have to go to an orphanage. Faced with that possibility, Amaranta's heart tightened. She wished that someone would appear to be able to adopt Ileana. That night, as everyone fell asleep, a strange noise from downstairs woke the couple up. Dacio carefully checked the surroundings, worried that a stranger had broken into the house. While checking other parts of the house, he realized that someone had tried to lock the front door. Thankfully, the security net prevented the door from being breached. And he decided to check the back door, where he discovered a figure trying to break down the door to get in. Upon realizing Dacio's presence, the stranger hastily escaped into the night. Dacio immediately called his police colleagues, but due to a lack of specific information, he could not provide any description of the suspect. They feel helpless, because since moving to this neighborhood more than a decade ago, Dacio and his wife have never faced any trouble. Surprisingly, amidst all the commotion, Ileana still slept peacefully, unaware of the chaos around her. The next morning, Dacio decided to take emergency leave to stay at home with Amaranta and Ileana, wanting to create a peaceful and safe space for her. In the following days, the family atmosphere became warmer than ever, and their relationship with Ileana deepened, so much so that Amaranta suggested to Dacio that they should consider adopting Ileana. Despite knowing that this would be a complicated legal process, Dacio promised Amaranta that he would do everything he could to ensure Ileana could become an official member of their family. One morning, as Amaranta chatted with Ileana in the kitchen and Dacio prepared breakfast, the family atmosphere was filled with joy and warmth. Ileana, increasingly sociable and smiling, seems to have adapted well to her new life. However, in the middle of breakfast, the girls suddenly had a severe stomach ache. Making Dacio worried and haunted by an unnamed fear, Dacio was extremely indignant and suspected that someone had intentionally made Ileana swallow the diamonds. When Ileana woke up from surgery without Dacio or Amaranta present to ask for advice, she felt the need to explain about the stones she had swallowed. The girl said her mother asked her to swallow the diamonds as a way to hide them from a man who was hunting them and her mother. Ileana said she was afraid the diamonds would be stolen. According to her mother, Ileana was also told to keep this secret, because if she was discovered, everyone would stay away from her. While she was pouring her heart out, Dacio and Amaranta sat by the bed, caressing Ileana's head and assuring her that everything would be okay and that they would continue to love her. Ileana couldn't hold back her tears. She expressed her strong emotions by saying that even her mother had never shown her love for her publicly. The couple stayed by Ileana's side throughout her time in the hospital, giving her constant love and comfort. As she prepares to leave the hospital, Ileana expresses her homesickness when thinking about Dacio and Amaranta's house. This makes the couple realize that Ileana has now become an inseparable part of their lives, and they resolve to protect her. While Amaranta and Ileana enjoyed some cozy time at home, Dacio went to the train station to continue his investigation. Subsequent investigations revealed that the diamonds discovered were from a high-end jewelry store that was robbed several months ago, and to date no one has been arrested in connection with that incident. Although Ileana's mother and stepfather are suspected, there may be many other people also involved in this case. In the following days, although the police actively investigated, they were still unable to find any more clues. Concerned for Ileana and Amaranta's safety, Dacio requested that additional protective measures be put in place. He knew that he had to take all necessary measures to ensure his family's safety. Gradually, Ileana's life returned to normal, and she had more and more freedom to play and cycle around the neighborhood, always under the strict supervision of adults. Both Dacio and Amaranta were determined to formalize their love and care for Ileana by starting the adoption process. After determining there were no other family members left for her, one day, when they were excited to share this good news with Ileana, they couldn't find her in the room. Suddenly, they discovered Ileana talking to a strange man outside the house. To their horror, the man suddenly grabbed Ileana's arm and tried to pull her away. Dacio immediately rushed forward and intervened, stopping the man. Meanwhile, Dacio realized that the man had a deformity similar to Ileana's, a rare eye color difference, leading to suspicion that he might be her biological father. This unexpected similarity in genetic characteristics made Dacio more suspicious when they went to the police station to clarify the connection between Ileana and this man. The truth about the mysterious man is finally revealed. Not only is he Ileana's biological father, but he is also the man behind the famous diamond theft. The story reveals a complex and tragic thread. Ileana's father entrusted the diamonds to her mother, who then decided to hide them in an extremely harsh way by forcing her daughter to swallow them to prevent block her father found. To recover the diamonds, he lured Ileana's mother and her boyfriend, Ileana's stepfather, to a date at the abandoned house. There, he poisoned their drinks and in exchange for the antidote, demanded that they reveal the location of the diamonds. Ileana's stepfather revealed that she swallowed them but fainted before giving further details. Ileana's mother refused to talk about her daughter's location and locked herself in her room, unable to open it. The man later confessed to his and other accomplices' crimes, leading to their arrest. In this complicated and heartbreaking context, Dacio and Amaranta felt both relief and sadness when they learned about the fate of Ileana and her parents. They informed her of the end of the investigation, but fortunately, Ileana was not too deeply affected by her father's arrest. Time passed, and one day the long-awaited letter arrived, confirming the successful adoption process. In a rush of emotions and tears of happiness, Dacio and Amaranta opened the letter and could not stop crying when they learned they would officially become Ileana's parents. With immense joy, they rushed to Ileana's room to share this news that would change their lives forever. When Dacio and Amaranta entered the room with hearts full of love, they solemnly informed the little girl that from now on, they would be her official parents. Liana, hearing these words, feeling the weight of joy as well as the overwhelming warmth, could not hold back her emotions and shed happy tears. In the tight embrace of their new family, they celebrated this important moment together, marking the beginning of a new journey together to build a home filled with love and happiness. If you feel this story touches your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Other touching stories are also waiting for you in the coming days.